players! Welcome to Settlers of Catan. I am Thelonius. I've searched far and wide for the land called Catan. I've just discovered it. Join me. This right here is Catan. You and other pioneers have landed on this new island full and rich of resources, and you use those resources to build infrastructure and collect victory points. The first player to 10 victory points wins and shall be called Lord of Catan. Lord of Catan. Lord of Catan. Alright, enough of that.
The 5 resources on the island are the following: wood, brick, sheep, wheat, and ore. You use these resources to build infrastructure on the island, so roads, settlements, and cities. You then use those buildings to collect more of the adjacent resources and earn more victory points. You also use resources to invest in development cards, or D cards. These can give you a number of advantages throughout the game. Each player starts off the game with 2 settlements. Each of these settlements is worth 1 victory point. So really, you only need to get 8 more victory points to win the game. Also, each settlement gets 1 road attached to it. Once everyone has built their first 2 settlements, the game begins. Each player rolls the dice, and play moves clockwise. You continue to use resources to build things like roads, settlements, cities, and D cards. If you're not sure how to do that, everyone gets a little building cost card that'll tell you what to do. So how do you get resources? I'm glad you asked. There's actually a number on each one of these resource hexes. In fact, let's make that happen now. Ta-da! You need to be advanced to make that happen. You'll get there. Every time a particular number is rolled, everyone who's built on that hex gets 1 of that resource. If you have a city, you get to draw 2 resources, and you can double up on the same hex. So after you roll, you use the resources in your hand to expand your empire as you see fit, and then play moves clockwise. You play until one person has 10 victory points. And that's about it. There's just a couple more rules, and then you'll be ready to jump in. Trading. On your turn, after you've rolled, you can do as much trading as you want with the other players or with the bank. With the bank, you can give 4 of any one resource for 1 of any other resource. You do as much trading and building as you want on your turn, and then you pass the dice. Ports. We have very good relationships here at Catan with our neighbors and do a lot of trading along the coasts. If you build on 1 of 2 port spots, you can trade resources into the bank for the ratio pictured. If you see a resource, you can trade 2 of that resource in for any other card. If you see a question mark, you can trade 3 of any similar resource for 1 of any other resource. Ports can be incredibly crucial for your game. The robber. The island of Catan is haunted by a sneaky robber that likes to come along and steal your resources. Every time a 7 is rolled, the robber moves onto a hex of the player's choosing, who then steals a card from the player on that hex. The robber then prevents any player on that hex to pick up any of those resources until another 7 is rolled. Development cards. If you pay a sheep, a wheat, and an ore, that will buy you 1 development card. You draw at random, but it can be 1 of 3 types of cards: a knight card, a progress card, or a victory point card. Knight cards will move the robber for free without having to roll a 7. Progress cards help you with earning resources, and each victory point card is worth 1 victory point. Your cards can remain secret throughout the game, and they can be very, very useful. Bonus points. There are actually a couple ways for you to earn 2 extra victory points: longest road and largest army. Whoever has the longest continuous road on the board of 5 spaces or more gets 2 extra victory points. And whoever has the largest collection of 3 or more knight cards also gets 2 extra victory points. Distance rule. Lastly, a very important rule is that you can never build a settlement or city directly next to another one. You always have to have at least 1 intersection between each building. I made that mistake the first time I played, and it was pretty embarrassing, so don't do that. So that's our quick explanation of the game Catan. Thanks so much for watching. Please help us out by liking the video and subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. We have tons more videos on Catan and other strategy games too. Much love, thanks for watching, and we'll see you real soon.
Bonus points. Alright, this is raw. That's gotta be the last one with you like leaning back, like not even looking at camera anymore.
Yeah. Okay.